Daddy said he named me Star because he said I was a light in his darkness. And, right about now, I definitely need some light in my own. When I was only about 12 years old, you see, my parents had two talks with me. One was with my brothers, where we discussed the Black Panthers 10-point program. Now, while other kids were learning the Pledge of Allegiance, we were learning we want freedom. We want the power to determine our destinies for our Black and oppressed communities. While the other conversation was about what to do if a cop had ever stopped me. In the June 2020 study from the University of South Carolina, we discovered that Blacks were 95% more likely to be stopped and 115% more likely to be stopped and searched at a traffic stop. Meet Star, a 16-year-old girl who grapples with racism, police brutality, and finding the courage to use her voice to speak out against the hate you give, by Angie Thomas. Now, you see, Mama fussed and told Daddy that I was too young for that type of conversation, right? But Daddy argued with Mama and told her that I wasn't too young to get arrested or to even get shot. You see, Daddy, he looked at me and he said, Star, listen, you do whatever they tell you to do, all right? And keep your hands visible. Don't make any sudden movements. Only speak when spoken to. He was a hazel-eyed boy with dimples. His name was Khalil. We knew each other since we were babies. We were best friends. But the last time I saw Khalil, I was at some kind of house party. And that's when I saw him, and he came over, and, we started talking about things going on in our lives, and, of course, that's when some kind of fight broke out. So, Khalil and I left together, and he offered to take me home. And we got in his car, and before we could even get there, that's when Officer 115 pulled us over. Yeah, I remember it. Officer 115. See, that was his badge number. I remember he came around and he tapped on the window and he asked Khalil for his license and registration. You do whatever they tell you to do. And Khalil felt as if we were doing nothing wrong. I mean, we were just sitting there. Don't make any sudden movements. And that's when he told Khalil to get out of the car. And Khalil was trying to get out on his own, but the officer had to force him out the rest of the way. Keep your hands visible. He patted Khalil down three times. Star, listen. If you're with somebody, you better hope that they don't have nothing on them. Because if they do, both of y'all are going down. He didn't find anything. That's when he told Khalil, wait here. And he went to go finish checking his license and registration. And that's when Khalil came over to me to make sure that I was okay, and he started reaching for the car door, and that's when, pow, you do whatever they tell you to do, pow, keep your hands visible, and pow, don't make any sudden movements. And there was blood. 115 just shot Khalil. And you see things like this on national news. I mean, a black person just gets killed for being black, and all hell wants to break loose. I always said if I ever saw something like this happen to me, I would have the loudest voice. I would make sure that the world knew what was happening. And now it's happened to me, and I'm too afraid to even speak. You see, nobody understands. I saw the bullets right through him. I sat there in the streets and watched Khalil as he took his last breath. And I've had to sit here and listen to people make it seem like it was okay that Khalil was murdered, as if he deserved it. Don't you know Khalil did not deserve to die? And God, I definitely didn't do anything to deserve seeing that. What is the point of having a voice if you are not going to use it in the moments that you need it most? Huh? See, Daddy, he looked at me and he said, "So why you gonna be quiet? Huh?" Point 7. We want an immediate end to police brutality and the murdering of Star, of black people, oppressed people, and people of color. You see, what happens next is sort of like when you shake a soda can. See, from the outside of it, you can't really tell what's going on, but when you open it, that thing explodes. So you know what? I decided I was gonna tell the grand jury the truth. And you know what? I did. And 115 still hasn't even been charged. And he's not the first person to do something like this and just get away with it. Don't you know this keeps on happening? I did everything that I was supposed to do, but I guess it wasn't good enough, right? I mean, Khalil's death wasn't horrible enough to be considered some type of crime. But what about his life? See, doesn't anybody know that Khalil, he was a walking, talking human being? See, Khalil, he had a family, and then Khalil had friends, and then Khalil had dreams, but none of that mattered. None of that mattered, because Khalil was just some thug that deserved to die, right? And you see, just for speaking out, I've gotten death threats. And then cops have harassed my own family, and then someone even shot to my own house. But for what? For what? Justice Khalil won't get. And don't you know this whole situation is bigger than just about me and Khalil and 115. You see, this is about us. With the capital U. See, this is for the people who look like us, right? And then for the people who feel like us, and for the people who experience the same pain with us, despite not knowing me or Khalil. You see, this is about minorities and poor people and people at the end of society who always get the short end of the stick. But I guess it would be easy if I was just talking about me and Khalil and 115. But no. See, I'm talking about Oscar. And Trayvon and Ezell and Rakia and don't you know Philando, and that list goes on and on and on. And yet I think one day that there might be a change. When I don't know how. I definitely don't know. And you want to know why? Why? Because there was always someone willing to fight. And you know what? I guess it's my turn. He was a hazel-eyed boy with dimples. You see, the world called him a thug. But his name is Khalil.